Hello, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. My name is G, and on my channel I like to create videos to discuss the shady, predatory, and manipulative tactics of MLMs. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Young Living. They are one of the more popular and prominent MLM companies specializing in essential oils, and recently they have been served with a warning letter from the FDA. So today we're going to be taking a closer look at all of this. First, we'll take a look at the Young Living income disclosure statement, so then we can go into the warning letter, having a better understanding of where Young Living stands in terms of their amazing income opportunity. Then we'll start to break down the letter and understand just what it is that Young Living was caught doing and all of the false claims that they were caught making. If you enjoy anti-MLM content and would like to check out any of my other videos, I'll link a playlist for you up there. And I would also be super appreciative if you'd consider subscribing to my channel. Lastly, please let me say one more thank you to everybody who has subscribed already. My goal was to hit 1,000 before the end of the summer, and it looks like it's going to be happening a lot sooner thanks to you guys, so thank you so much. I really want to celebrate somehow when I do reach 1,000. I'm thinking maybe I'll get a tattoo that says Nard Dog on my ass. Just kidding, just kidding. I'm saving that for when I get to 10,000 subscribers. I'm still joking. To wrap it up, just want to say again, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, for subscribing, for leaving your comments. I love having you all here. With all of that said, let's get into it. Whenever talking about an MLM company, it's always a good idea to first look at their income disclosure statement if they have one. Isn't it just wild that income disclosure statements, which are literally the bare minimum that an MLM company can do, are not even required by the FTC? That's wild. Thankfully, Young Living does have one, so let's check it out. And I just want to make a note that this income disclosure statement is from 2020 and it's representing the earnings of distributors in the United States. There's also an income disclosure which represents the global earnings, and I will link that down below in the description box if you want to check it out, but from what I saw, they are both extremely similar. On the left, we see the different ranks, starting from associate and going all the way up to Royal Crown Diamond.
Oh, you're using your made-up names. I'm Spider-Man then.
By looking at the percentage of all the numbers, we see that the majority of the company, or 88.1% of members, are at the associate level. If we look at the annual income section, we see a range of numbers from lowest, highest, average, and median. The most useful number to look at here is the median, because the median is the exact middle point in a data set, whereas the average is the sum of all of the values divided by the number of values. In other words, the average is going to be inflated because it will represent the extremes of the values and not be a true representation of where most people are really at. Keeping that in mind, 88.1% of the company, which are the associates, are making a median amount of 0. The 8.5% of people at the star rank made a median of 157. And these figures are annually, by the way. That's 96.6% of people in Young Living making between $0 and $157 a year. That's not even considering expenses, which Young Living makes sure to remind you of so they can cover their oily little butts. Note that the income paid to members summarized in this disclosure does not include expenses incurred by a member in the operation or promotion of his or her business, which can vary widely and might include product purchases, advertising or promotional expenses, product samples, training, rent, travel, telephone and internet costs, and miscellaneous expenses. This is exactly the reason why anti-MLM creators and advocates emphasize the point that being a part of an MLM is going to cost you money in the long run. Above star is senior star, which comprises 2.1% of the company. They earn a median income of $1,332, with the absolute highest in that rank earning $51,890. Before you get too impressed by that, remember that the lowest paid member at that rank receives a very familiar amount. Can you guess what it is? 0. If we jump to the very top rank, the one we spoke of before, the Royal Crown Diamond, The median is, unsurprisingly, much higher at about $1.4 million. However, please remember that 0.1% of people will be making that amount of money. 0.1%. That's not even 1%, you guys. That's a very, very small number. Very tiny.
That's what she said.
So after reviewing this income disclosure statement, it is clear that 99.7% of this company's distributors will not have financial freedom by participating in this opportunity. With that in mind, let's go ahead and start discussing the recent encounter they had with the FDA. The Food and Drug Administration is responsible for protecting the public health by ensuring the safety, efficacy, and security of human and veterinary drugs, biological products, and medical devices, and by ensuring the safety of our nation's food supply, cosmetics, and products that emit radiation. The FDA also has the responsibility for regulating the manufacturing, marketing, and distribution of tobacco products to protect the public health and to reduce tobacco use by minors. So when the FDA finds out that a manufacturer has violated their regulations, they notify that manufacturer in the form of a warning letter. The warning letter spells out the violations that the manufacturer has committed, and it lets the company know of the corrections that need to be made in order to remain in compliance. The company, in this case Young Living, needs to respond to that warning letter with a clear plan on how they will address those issues if they want to remain in compliance with the FDA. If they bust a Q Sciences and completely ignore this letter and do nothing about it, they're opening themselves up to have more problems with the FDA, and they could potentially even lose their regulatory status. So what was the catalyst that caused Young Living to receive this warning letter in the first place? To answer that question, I'm going to be sharing something from an account on Instagram called MLM. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It was actually this very post that made me want to look deeper into the situation and basically create this video. So thank you, Mombi, for your post and for everything else that you and the other activists did to help make this happen. Let me read some of her post. For the last few months, a group of fellow activists and I have been gathering claims made by Young Living and its reps behind the scenes. In February 2022, we found and reported a COVID protocol, which was then picked up and reported on by Truth in Advertising. Today it was announced to Young Living reps that the FDA then audited the company in May for medical claims. Mombi continues in her post to discuss the importance of anti-MLM activism, noting how it helps protect consumers against false advertising, which could ultimately lead to unwanted side effects, complications, even death. So make sure that you are following her on Instagram. I will make sure to link her account in the description box below. And once again, thank you, Mombi. Now that we understand the full picture of where Young Living is at right now, let's start digging into the actual warning letter. The FDA delivered this letter to Young Living on June 10, 2022, addressing it to Mary B. Young, the co-founder and chief executive officer. The letter begins by letting Young Living know that the FDA has been reviewing their website as well as the social media accounts for several of their consultants. This includes accounts like Instagram, Facebook, and personal blogs. The FDA goes on to say that they've seen these consultants market Young Living products, including but not limited to frankincense essential oil, lemon essential oil, lavender essential oil, DeGuise essential oil blend, thieves essential oil blend, lemongrass vitality, peppermint vitality, Ningxia, Nature's Ultra CBD Beauty Boost, CBD Muscle Rub, CBD Pep Bundle, Calm CBD Roll On, Cinnamon CBD Oil, Ultra Citrus CBD Oil, and Coolmint CBD oil. Wow, that was a lot of products. And in this letter, the FDA actually lists the specific accounts and the specific URLs of these consultants to show where they saw false claims being made. The warning letter goes on to say, you market your Young Living essential oil, vitality, Ningxia, and Nature's Ultra CBD products through these paid consultants. Your compensation plan for your consultants is explained on your website. Consumers interested in your products are then redirected by your consultants to your website to purchase your products. So in my opinion, what the FDA is doing right there is showing the process of how customers would go from seeing marketing content and then being routed to the Young Living website. So Young Living can't just wash their hands of this and say, too bad, that's not us, those are the consultants. No, because what they're doing is clearly benefiting you, where they are sending them to your website to purchase these products. The FDA goes on to say how their essential oil, Vitality, Ningxia, and Nature's Ultra CBD are technically drugs under the eyes of the law. Because technically, according to the way that Young Living manufactured them and is now marketing them, they are intended for use in the cure of mitigation, treatment, or prevention of disease, which is strictly against FDA policy. That is why we always see that little disclaimer on products, because you are not allowed to say that. The FDA then goes on to clarify that you determine the use of a product by its labeling, its advertising, and the way it was distributed. Look, I just so happen to have a prop. Awesome. Even if the actual bottle doesn't say, this can help treat your symptoms of your UTI, which is a claim that some of these people were making, if their consultants are insinuating that that's what the product can do, then they're in violation. For the cherry on top of a delicious slice of humble pie, the letter states, these products are also unapproved new drugs and misbranded drugs, making it a violation to even introduce them into interstate commerce. The next part of the letter is my favorite part, where the FDA actually included the specific health claims that some of their consultants were making, or the health claims that Young Living themselves were putting up on their website. For example, one consultant claimed that frankincense essential oil could ease symptoms of discomfort from a urinary tract infection, may ease symptoms of discomfort from a yeast infection, and is great to use for a homemade sunscreen. Please don't do that. Get real sunscreen. Get your UTI treated properly. Please don't use essential oils for that. About the lemon essential oil, a consultant was caught saying how this would be great for kidney stones, and that you should use this along with lavender and peppermint to ease those seasonal sniffles and runny noses. It can be used to combat acne, and it may ease symptoms from urinary tract infections, and it may reduce inflammation. This same consultant also said about lavender essential oil, use in a vegetable capsule, a teaspoon of honey to ease those seasonal sniffles, especially this time of year with all the pollen. In fact, not surprisingly, a common theme was the use of essential oil for cold or flu-like symptoms. For example, to try to sell the essential oil thieves, somebody left a review saying, a head cold, sneezing, watery eyes, running, stuffed nose, even body aches. Today, however, I'm still feeling a little tired. My ears don't hurt anymore, and I feel much better. The remedy, thieves, essential oil blend. Under the tongue all day long, and an overdose of Young Living vitamin C. Ready to beat the cold and flu season? DM me. Please don't overdose on Young Living products. Thank you. Moving on now to the Vitality products, which are essentially the essential oil nutritional supplement hybrid. It's an essential oil, but it's also one that you can ingest. One consultant said this about the lemongrass Vitality. Lemongrass poses a very strong argument for being the go-to when you find yourself not feeling well, battling inflammation, infection, stomach upset, stuffy sinuses, high body temps, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. If it's stomach upset, bladder discomfort, cholesterol, or blood pressure that we're looking to improve, we ingest. No. If you're looking to better your health and remedy some of those ailments, you need to be going to a medical professional. The people who sell you essential oils and who are making all of these claims are not required to have any sort of medical backgrounds in order to sell you these things and make these outrageous claims. Moving on to the Ningxia product, which I hope that I'm pronouncing right. I googled the pronunciation.
Ningxia.
Ningxia. First, let me give you a little overview of what this product is. Ningxia is a delicious beverage that includes juices and extracts from superfruits such as aronia, plum, blueberry, pomegranate, and best of all, whole fruit pulp from exotic Ningxia wolfberries. This powerful little berry gets its name from the Ningxia region of China, where Young Living founder Dr. Gary Young It doesn't even say doctor, it just says D. That's great because he never really was a doctor. Where Young Living founder D. Gary Young first learned of its unparalleled nutritional profile. It's commonly called the wolfberry, though it's also known as goji berry, an adaptation of its original Mandarin Chinese name, which I can't pronounce. Some of the claims made about this product are Ningxia, scientifically proven to be the highest antioxidant food source in the world. Inflammation, disease, and cancer are all driven by free radicals. Antioxidants neutralize free radicals, meaning they stop them from doing damage. Reduced inflammation, healthy cholesterol, and blood sugar. We've had Ningxia as part of our daily routine. We don't get the flu. When we get a cold, it's not that bad at all, and it's short-lived. Especially in a time like the present where flus and colds and all of these symptoms are so prevalent and people are wanting to take care of themselves, paired with the fact that a lot of people don't have access to regular health insurance, claims like this can actually be effective in getting people to believe that these products are actually helping them and reducing their inflammation, lowering their cholesterol, and all of these things, when the reality is ingesting these products could be doing even more damage to them. Lastly, the letter mentions their Nature's Ultra CBD products. And this time the FDA calls out Young Living directly, not just their consultants, because on their very own website, this is what they wrote. CBD Muscle Rub. Soothes sore muscles, soothes occasional tension. Suggested uses: applied topically to soothe sore muscle. CBD Muscle Rub combines CBD, menthol, and a selection of Young Living premium essential oils such as camphor, clove, lemon, peppermint, tea tree, wintergreen, and more. The result is a powerful balm that offers a cooling sensation and soothes sore muscles in seconds. Really? They're going to say something like that something is going to work on you in seconds. No, completely and totally false. On a different website that they operate called naturesultra.com, they advertised, some studies suggest the most common illnesses caused by an improperly functioning ECS are depression, Alzheimer's, IBS, fibromyalgia, and even migraines. That's why it's so important to ensure that you are supporting it as needed. CBD, an ingredient in your Nature's Ultra CBD Beauty Boost, Nature's Ultra CBD Muscle Rub, CBD Pep Bundle, CBD Roll-On, Cinnamon CBD Oil, Citrus CBD Oil, Cool Mint CBD Oil is a great way to support your ECS. ECS stands for the endocannabinoid system. Please don't use essential oils as a way to treat all of those things that I just listed. That requires speaking to your doctor, speaking to somebody who has medical knowledge. Remember that these consultants don't necessarily have that when they're offering you all of these little products. Lastly, to just round out these incredulous claims made, a consultant advertised, what does CBD oil support? Addiction, Alzheimer's, anxiety, chronic pain, depression, diabetes, drug withdrawal, epilepsy, glaucoma, inflammation, insomnia, Parkinson's, sleep disorders, plus more. Coming soon, Young Living CBD Oil. In the final sections of the letter, the FDA just goes on to state that all of those products they got done mentioning are legally considered as drugs in the eyes of the law. They say, we are not aware of any adequate and well-controlled clinical studies in the published literature that support a determination that any of these products are generally recognized as safe and effective for use under the conditions prescribed, recommended, or suggested in their labeling. The FDA goes on to call them out for misbranding their drug. They say the drug labels fail to provide adequate directions for how it is supposed to be used safely by the customer. They state that prescription drugs can only be used safely at the direction and under the supervision of a licensed practitioner, and they are advertising those products as if they were those type of drugs. The problem is the customers nor the consultants have the medical experience to diagnose or treat their own conditions using these products such as essential oils that you can ingest. But that doesn't stop the consultants from claiming things like these essential oils can help treat your urinary tract infection, your yeast infection, your high cholesterol, your high blood pressure, cancer, kidney stones, addiction, Alzheimer's, anxiety, depression, chronic pain, diabetes, drug withdrawal, epilepsy, glaucoma, and Parkinson's disease. So basically saying you are not allowed to make those claims. Knock it off. The letter specifically talks about CBD containing drugs. They say that even if their Nature's Ultra CBD were considered to be a non-prescription drug, it is still legally not allowed to be marketed without an approved new drug application. To know, no CBD containing drug has met the applicable FDA requirements to legally be marketed for that use. Non-prescription drugs that include CBD as an active ingredient, which is what Young Living is trying to sell to us, are not generally recognized as safe and effective and are new drugs which require an approved application to be legally marketed. They start to wrap up and conclude the letter by reminding Young Living that these violations are not a comprehensive list. They say that Young Living is now responsible for going and carrying out their own investigations to see what other violations are taking place and be proactive in making that list and making those instructions on how those problems and issues will be addressed. The FDA says, this letter notifies you of our concerns and provides you an opportunity to address them. Failure to adequately address this matter may result in legal action, including, without limitation, seizure, and injunction. As one final twist in the story, the FDA includes one last comment. On a certain consultant's website under the essential oil category, in the 20 uses for frankincense essential oil post, number 15 states, for new moms, apply 1 drop daily of frankincense essential oil to the umbilical cord stump on your newborn until it falls off. Please be aware that applying non-sterile, non-antimicrobial products topically to an umbilical cord may cause infection. So a Young Living consultant is out there making blog posts saying things like, use this essential oil directly on your newborn baby on their umbilical cord stump until it falls off. Please don't do that. Like I've said before on my channel, when it comes to children, they didn't ask for any participation in your MLM, so leave them out of it. No, don't touch me there. This is my no square. Stay out with those essential oils. Young Living had 15 days from the receipt of the letter to respond back to the FDA and send them their plan and send them their timeline and let the FDA know how and when they were going to accomplish everything. They also have the opportunity to appeal if they have supporting information. I don't see how you could appeal this. It is what it is. These consultants said what they said, which is why they're cracking down and telling their consultants they need to be a lot more careful so that they remain in compliance. Let's just go to my final thoughts before we close out this video. I don't know about you guys, but it sure feels like we are in some unprecedented times in the world, especially as it relates to people's overall health. Chronic illnesses and conditions are on the rise all over the world. People are sick and desperate and tired and looking for any magical solution to cure all of their problems. That's where companies like Young Living come in, offering snake oil that's going to treat all of their diseases while offering them a business opportunity on the side. All the while they're shelling these sketchy products that have questionable origins that don't meet the necessary standards to be generally recognized as safe and effective. Not only do they convince you that these products will treat your ailments and stop your pain, but they also convince you that you can be a boss babe and have financial freedom and live a #blessed life. Now don't get me wrong. I know that there are people who join companies like this because maybe they genuinely want the discount, maybe they really just want to help out their friend, whatever. People have their reasons. Not every single person is going to say yes to something like Young Living thinking that they're going to be a multimillionaire. However, when people are intentionally misled and when deceptive marketing practices are used in order to convince people to purchase the products or take a chance on this opportunity, that's when these companies cross the line. It's irresponsible to litter their fancy little gimmicks with false claims about what these products can actually do. Remember, and I want to emphasize this point before closing out the video, you don't need any sort of medical background or experience or credentials to be a Young Living consultant. Young Living consultants are not qualified to diagnose you or treat you for any ailments that you may have. And I think with everything that we've read here today, we can all agree that some of these products are very, very questionable. The ball is in Young Living's court now. They have the opportunity to crack down on these claims and make things right. I personally won't be holding my breath. Be cautious about the products you consume and don't put your own or your family's health at risk. Friends, we have now made it to the end of the video. If you are still here, wow, thank you so much for sticking around. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video, if the subject matter was interesting, literally any other comments or feedback that you may have for me. I'm really focused right now on refining my recording, my editing, my storytelling skills, and just focus on making better content for you all. So please feel free to let me know your comments and your feedback below. I would really, really, really appreciate it. I appreciate you all. Now go have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening. Hydrate, wear sunblock, call your grandma. Have a really, really good day, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, thank you. Bye.